Hi, welcome back to Vinyl Anatomy. I'm Jojo, and this is Tumi. There are two exciting things I want to share today. One is the recent haul that I highly recommend for all jazz lovers, especially for people who just get into jazz records. And second, today is Tumi's birthday. Although by the time you see this video, it's probably a few days later. And I also realized a jazz-related mind-blowing fact about Tumi's birthday. If you want to see our tradition of celebrating his birthday and my discovery, stay until the end of this video. I had to use Tumi to hijack you guys, don't I? Now, let me share with you this wonderful records that you can order right now at a reasonable price. Great music and a reasonable price.
What's not to like?
I ordered all 4 records from the Turntable Lab, but this is not a sponsored video whatsoever. I just want to give them a shout out for providing amazing products, great packaging, and awesome sticker. You get 10% off when buying 4, but feel free to support whichever record shop you like. The first one today is the self-titled album of Dearie. This album was recorded in '56 and the first release was in '57. This is her first album with the Verve label. This album had never been reissued on vinyl records until 2019 by Vinyl Me Please. And the one I have here belongs to the Verve by Request series. This series is a collaboration between the Verve and the legendary Sermon Records. You take the amazing vault of the Verve and put it through the high standard of production by Sermon Records. You can give every jazz fan a wet dream. And the final product is wonderful. 180 gram heavyweight wonderful. Not only the sound quality is great, the album itself is great too. We have Dearie on vocal and piano, Herb Ellis on guitar, Joe Jones on drums, and none other than Ray Brown on the double bass. Dearie's name might not be the brightest in jazz history, but I love her vocal and her piano play quite a lot. Her voice and phrasing have a laid-back and elegant tone closer to French chanson. And she did perform 2 songs in French on this album. This is a lovely album for a weekend or whenever you want something that isn't too full to ease your brain. Next up is this. The analog production reissue of Getz and Gilberto. Legendary bossa nova album. Even if you never heard of this album, you heard the song The Girl from Ipanema before. This is especially true since we recently lost the wonderful vocalist Esther Gilberto. This pressing is Acoustic Sound series by the Verve in 2020. This is one of the modern reissue series that I can buy with confidence knowing that I'm getting a quality product. As the name implies, this series is cut from the original analog tape and pressed on 180 gram vinyl records to ensure top quality. And it also came with luxury gatefold sleeves for reasonable price, especially now. The cast on this album starts with Stan Getz, Joe Gilberto, featuring Antonio Carlos Jobim, and of course, Esther Gilberto, with Gilberto on guitar, Jobim on piano, and Getz on tenor sax. And there really aren't any more words needed to describe this album. It is the best bossa nova album for you to start. Find a record shop that you want to support and put it into your collection if you haven't already done that. Next, we have one of my, if not the all-time favorite. It is an album that started my journey as a jazz fan. That is Undercurrent by Bill Evans and Jim Hall. This is the 2023 release by Mofi. Not a big name in the vinyl record community, which unfortunately went through turmoil in 2022 because of failing to disclose their certain manufacturing process. Mine is the 2023 release, and it has the revised print on Mofi adding DSD to the process and numbered. Undercurrent is a unique release among Bill Evans' impressive work. This is an album about loss and sorrow, and it also serves as an outlet for those strong emotions for Evans to recompose his heart. It is the first album after Scott LaFaro's passing, the bass artist who had the best dynamic with Evans. After tragedy, Evans stopped playing for a year to recoup himself and finally record 2 sessions with legendary guitarist Jim Hall to release the album Undercurrent. It is a quiet and powerful album that shows enormous emotion. If you don't know about this album, go listen to it and thank me later. Back to the record itself. Due to the age of the original tape, the quality of Undercurrent's master recording is known to be flawed. Multiple passages of the recording are too hot and distorted. In each release of this album, engineers try to find a balance for it. The Mofi release here is no exception. Overall, it is a high-quality, clean-sounding release, but the distortion was a bit too pronounced to my taste, and that creates an effect that the music and the record itself sounds kind of detached. This character, from my experience, can be a hint that digital processing is involved in the making. It is hard to put in words, but I heard the same character when I compared the original and the new but lesser version of Time Out by David Brubeck Quartets as well. And this also means that I will try to get an older pressing of Undercurrents in the future when I make a separate video just for the design and stories about this album. So don't forget to sub the channel if you're interested. The last one I want to share with you today is another Bill Evans album. Somehow this become a Bill Evans episode, and it is none other than Waltz for Debby. This album is one of the two holy grails for all Bill Evans fans, and what I have here is the 2023 reissue by Craft Recording under the original Jazz Classics series. Craft Recording is a label that I have total confidence. For me, with every single purchase of their products I made, there were zero problems, and this one is no exception. It's pressed on 180 gram vinyl, sourced from the original master tapes, mastered and cut by Kevin Gray, who is also in charge of the mastering and cutting for another highly regarded series, the Blue Note Tone Poet series. And I am a fan of both series and how he handles the sound. Waltz for Debby is Bill Evans Trio's fourth album. It is from the same live sessions of another classic that is coming later this year by Craft Recording as well. That's Sunday at the Village Vanguard. These two albums are the last time we hear the trio composed of Bill Evans, Scott LaFaro, and Paul Motian before LaFaro passed away tragically. And like I said earlier, the amazing dynamic between Evans and LaFaro brings their play to another level that is hard to find after. This makes Waltz for Debby and Sunday at the Village Vanguard the two holy grails of Evans' work. In Waltz for Debby, every single track on the album is top-notch. The flow and pacing of this album is like magic. The album eases you in with the opening track, My Foolish Heart, the mellow and steady piece that grabs your attention, and it ends at the point where you crave for more. And it hits you with Waltz for Debby, the most recognizable jazz play in history, as the second track. Then the trio slows you down with the following track, The Tour Ahead. It shows you how effortlessly this trio can manipulate the whole atmosphere and make the listener lost in the sea of music. The whole album is only 39 minutes, and I guarantee that it will be the best 39 minutes every time you spin these records. If you look up on Discord, the early release of Waltz for Debby and Sunday at Village Vanguard will set you back away over $500 USD each. Easy. This is why I'm super excited when this release dropped, and I believe you should too. Oh, finally, it's time to celebrate Tumi's birthday! Every year we buy him a special treat and record the celebration. This year I want to share this moment with you, people on YouTube. Oh, and the mind-blowing thing I found out this morning is that today is not only Tumi's birthday, it's also Bill Evans' birthday. My favorite Frenchie and my favorite jazz pianist share the same birthday. Wow. Remember to like, sub, and ring the bell. I'll see you next time.